Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Investor More, and we're outside the Ocho, which is an 8-plex we bought, 6 to 8 months ago now. It also has 16 garages and 12 storage units, but it's all rented right now, which is great. We've been able to add quite a bit of value to this property through leasing it, getting higher rents when people move out. And then we've also had a little bit of drama with this property over the months we've had it too, and people driving in the yard, different things going on. But you can see now that spring has come around, the yard is looking much, much better. And the reason that we have all the yellow tape in is we just added these trees. So hopefully that will kind of keep people from driving through the yard and messing it up. So we'll see how all that goes. Of course, we love the likes, shares, comments, keep those coming. And my blog, investormore.com, has hundreds of free articles and all kinds of great information on there as well. But we're gonna check the laundry machines today. So I have a coin-operated laundry, and we'll see how much money is in there. And then I think we're gonna talk about the rents, how they've increased, how the income has increased on this property, and what it might be worth now. We bought it for $1.35 million, and I think that was a pretty good deal. And we'll check and see what it might be worth now and what our plans are for the property. So right here you can kind of see this dirt, ugly part is where they were driving. And I posted that on TikTok and Instagram a couple times and YouTube, and people got so mad at me for posting people driving on it. I'm like, well, don't drive on the yard if you don't want me to post it. But I think the tenant had actually commented on one of them too, saying they only drove through it a few times really quickly and it was okay. But they did stop since I posted that, so that worked. And you can see now, hopefully with these trees, that will kind of help as well. And when I saw pictures of the property 5 to 10 years ago on Google, you could see it had big, huge trees here before, kind of like the neighbors right there, but at some point they took them out. So, oh well. We've rented this for $12.50 per unit after we bought it, and they were all rented from like $950 to $1,050, I believe. So we have been able to raise rents quite a bit. We still have some tenants who are paying less just because they've been here the whole time. Oh no, there's someone up there doing laundry. I don't want to check laundry yet. I might have to wait. But we're not kicking people out and raising rents. We just raise rents when someone moves out. So even the people who drove through the yard or have caused other dramas, we aren't telling them they have to leave or anything. If they're paying rent, if they're doing everything else they're supposed to be doing, we're leaving them here and going from there. And yes, we did paint everything. So it used to be, I think it was yellow when we first bought it. It looks much better now. It's all got a sprinkler system. And we did have to do some changes to the sprinkler system to get it a little more coverage, so it's doing better. But yeah, everything's looking pretty good. We added some mulch. There were some old bushes and a falling down fence. We took those out, made that look better. And overall, it's a pretty cool property. Now we just have to decide, do we keep it? Do we think about selling it? Those are some different options based on what it's worth now and the return in the market and all that I want to talk about. So I'll wait a little bit here, and hopefully the laundry room becomes available, or I might have to come back in a little bit. So we'll see how that works. So the laundry room emptied out, and this is still so much fun for me. I pretty much go every week. I don't post all the times I get it, but we usually get around $40 to $50 a week in quarters. We've had as many as 80, and we've had as little as like 10 when the dryer broke, and it turns out it's just a fuse or breaker had tripped. We got that fixed and done. So this wasn't a bad haul. It was pretty good. So that's always good to see. We thought the washing machine was broken one time too, and ended up one of the tenants fixed it. So we don't really know who it was, but we have an extra washing machine. We can put another unit. We'll show you. So this was $56.25, and yes, I still have my stack of quarters there, but I have used some of them for the store and bar. And we're back a week later. I didn't end up posting the other video yet, so I thought, hey, we'll come check it out and see how it looks this week and if things are improved. And the grass looks way, way, way better. And we're also gonna check out and see how this week's laundry did versus last week. So last week we had a partial week with the new tenant, and now we'll have a whole week with a new tenant, so we'll see if there's a big difference or not. But the grass is looking better. It needs mowed again. I feel like our mower's not quite on top of things like they should be. But you can see it's green. We've had some rain, which has helped. The sprinklers are all working. And yeah, overall, looks pretty good. And there's nobody up in the laundry room this time, so that's nice. I thought there'd be more quarters this time, just because we have that, everything's full, but I can always feel them, and they felt a little lighter than before, although I was telling myself in my head that they're just as full. We'll see how much they added up to this week. Again, it's not the end of the world, obviously. It's a pretty trivial thing in the grand scheme of things, but it's just kind of fun for me to see what we can do. And here you can see we only had $40 this week, and then yes, there's the rest of our stack that's growing and shrinking. And here we have that machine we bought for the Ocho, which is the 8plex, at the complex. So this is the complex, and we had those installed, and I did have to take them apart to reprice what it was. So it came as $1, and we're repricing it to $1.75, which I think is still cheaper than laundromats. And so we'll have one coin-op washer, one coin-op dryer at the complex, and then we'll also have a coin-op dryer and coin-op washer at the 4-unit church place that I've been struggling with the city to get approved for our remodel there. And the city just delayed my meeting again. It was supposed to be on the 13th, and then they just said, oh, our room isn't available. We need to change it to a new date. What date works for everybody? And, you know, they didn't give us an option. They just asked 12 different people to tell them what date works. I'm like, any date works. Let's just please get this moving along. So you can see it actually works after I did it. So that's a bonus. Okay, now I'm on Upland, which is a virtual real estate game I've been playing in investment and talked about that before. But this is related to this video. I want to talk about the value of this property here a little bit. And our current rents right now are $10,375, I believe, in that range. When we bought it, they're around actually $9,000 because one of the units was rented or vacant. As soon as we bought another unit, it became vacant. But we did end up getting everything rented now. We've been able to rent everything for $1,250. But we still have a few that were kind of grandfathered in at lower prices, a couple leases that are lower. One that's month to month. We might raise them a little bit, but not very much. And but the value can change so much based on those rents. All our garages are rented for. We have 8 of the 2-car garages rented. Actually, one is vacant. We need to try and rent that one from like $150 to $160. Market rent is probably well over $200, so we're going to try to rent one of those garages now here at a higher rate and see how that goes. Each unit comes with a 1-car garage and a storage unit, and then the 2-car garages are rented separately, if that makes sense. So just doing my quick basic math here, if I take our monthly income, multiply it by 12, and then do my gross cap rate, which is dividing it by 7%, its current value is about 1.75, 1.8 based on the current rents. But a lot of times properties sell based on potential rents. So you might even be able to get a little more than that based on it being an 8plex with all those garages. People love those kinds of properties, especially investors. Now, if we were able to get all of it rented at market, it would bring in about $11,600 a month. That's still leaving a couple of storage units vacant, but $1,250 for every unit, $200 for each garage. We might be able to get more than that, but that would make it worth, we're doing the same thing here, almost $2 million. And honestly, my gut tells me it's probably close to a $2 million property right now. But if some people moved out, we're able to raise rents a little bit, we could get to that number. So that brings me to why I'm on Upland, and they're doing a new city release, which is really fun for me. You get to mint properties. I have some other videos on that you can check out if you want to learn about it. Just search for virtual real estate on Invest for More, so I won't go into all that. But part of Upland is I own lots and lots of properties. Let me see here. 386 properties all over the country. And with Upland, you can earn rent or flip them. And so what my strategy has been to list almost all of my properties for sale. You can see that. And if people buy them at the price I have them for sale for, great. I made my profit. I can take that money, buy more properties, keep it moving. And some are listed for more than market. Some are pretty close to market. But they're all kind of for sale. And I kind of thought about this in the real world, real estate world. A lot of commercial properties will be for sale for very high prices and for sale for years, and people just put them out there to see if, the perfect person comes along and wants to buy them. So I'm kind of thinking, should I do that with some of my commercial properties, with my multifamily properties, kind of like this one? It's like, hey, do we just list it, not even on the MLS, or we could list it on LoopNet or Crexy, some of these commercial websites, for a pretty high price, like put it on there for 2.2 million, maybe even a little more, and just see what happens. And if someone comes along and wants to buy it at that price, I'm happy, right? I can take that money, buy other deals, kind of do the same thing. And I could do that with some of my other properties I have as well, and just kind of put them on the market, put not crazy prices on there, but pretty high prices where I would definitely be happy if they sold that price. And then if they do sell, then I've got lots more cash. I could do 1031 exchanges, buy more properties, and just kind of keep that cycle going. Because as an investor, over the years, I've learned a lot of things, and cash flow is great, right? It's so nice to have cash flow coming in every month. You have that income. It's kind of like a safety net, where if your other businesses, your active income doesn't come as fast or as quick as you want, you've got this other passive income coming in to help you out. But the most money I've made in real estate, how I've been able to build my net worth and buy cars and cool stuff, is from not really flipping a little bit, but also the value increases in my rental properties too, whether it's forced appreciation or appreciation over time. And every time I buy a new deal, I make sure it's a great deal, right? We're buying a new one next week, but I'm paying 800 some thousand for it. It's worth at least twice that if we fix it up, if we rent it, maybe even more than that. So every time I buy a new property, we're adding equity, income, building my net worth. And so it's like, if I turn and sell more stuff, I might be able to build that quicker. So there's just all kinds of different ideas going through my head. And it's not something where I want to sell all my properties and get rid of all of them. But if I put, pretty aggressive prices, aggressive in my favor, not the buyer's favor, and see what happens, I don't think that would be a bad thing either. So different strategies to think about. And it's kind of fun how Upland has been kind of almost taught me a little bit about the real world investing. And then I've been able to bring my real world investing into Upland as well and use strategies there. I built a YouTube channel around Upland. We have a lot of followers. That's been pretty fun doing that as well. So it's been a pretty fun little experience. So if you're interested in it, great time to join, because like I said, the Las Vegas release is tomorrow. They do releases every couple months. It's a ton of fun. And yes, my net worth in this game is over 11 million UPIX. Oh, it should be. I think I made an offer, which is about $11,000 in real life if I were to sell out and get rid of all my properties. So I've put a couple thousand into it, so it's been pretty fun, and definitely you can make some money and have some interesting real estate stuff going on at the same time. So if you're interested, I'll have a link below where you can sign up and join. If not, don't worry, I don't talk about it too much on here, but I have another channel where I talk about it a lot if you're interested in that. All right, so the Ocho's going great. The yard looks so much better. Hopefully the trees help everything. The tenants seem happy. The laundry room's doing good. Now we'll kind of see what the garages can do, if we can rent them for more, and how we want to handle some of the current tenants who are paying really, really cheap for those garages. If we want to raise them a little bit or not, we'll see all that. All right, thanks for watching. Love to hear what everyone else out there thinks. If anybody else has that strategy on just listing properties for a lot of money and seeing what happens, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that. Love the likes, love the shares, love seeing new subscribers. Keep that coming, and we'll be back with many more videos coming up here soon.